Hi everyone, this is Shamin, Chief Digital Marketing Officer at Sky Digital Agency. And in today's video, I'd like to share with you that I have a new 2 days CPD workshop and program with Institute for Adult Learning. This program is called Strategies for Unleashing Your Digital Brand as Adult Educators. So if you're a working professional, even if you're not in teaching and education, and you would like to show up online on social media, I highly recommend for you to consider attending this workshop because I'm going to share with you strategies about your personal brand. If you are curious about what personal branding is all about, do continue watching on this video. Whether you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube, do remember to drop a like and share this video with your friends who might find this video helpful. A little bit more about myself. I'm actually very active conducting trainings, whether it's at Institute for Adult Learning or other training providers such as Singapore Business Federation, Aventis, Avado. Aventis Falco Academy is a new partnership that I had, and I used to conduct some trainings for SRA as well, a little bit more on an ad hoc basis. I do quite a bit of business and marketing mentorships at the different universities and tertiary schools. IHLs at SUTD, NUS, and Temasek Poly are recent projects. So these are some pictures of me, and have conducted some trainings in Indonesia, Philippines, and Mauritius. I've also conducted some trainings with French MNC and also a Hong Kong training provider. I have a very short agenda, but I really want to talk about what personal branding is all about. If you have any questions, remember to drop them in the comment section below. So I have a few brand logos here because this is a video format. Feel free to drop your comments in the section below, whether you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube. And the first brand I have for you, Apple's logo. I'd like you to think about how you feel about this brand, especially if you're an Apple user, whether it's an iPhone or a MacBook, iPad, right? What is it that Apple makes you feel when you own a product that they have created for all of us consumers? When we think about Apple, sometimes durability comes to mind. When we think about Apple, durability comes to mind. Maybe you feel a little bit more creative, productive as well, especially for me. I love airdropping my photos, my files into my MacBook and being able to transfer files through airdrop, making me feel very productive. And for cars, we have Audi, we have BMW, we also have, on the more expensive tier, Rolls-Royce. Ask yourself, how do these brands make you feel? And if you have a choice, which would you buy? Right? And most of the time, Rolls-Royce, it's custom made. When we talk about BMW, it's actually powerful. People feel secure. It's German made. And what about Audi? For me, I'm actually team Audi. Every time I show an Audi and a BMW, many people actually prefer BMW. Last but not least, how about Rolexes? For me, right, I don't buy expensive watches, and a lot of people who buy Rolex will say that it's an investment. So how does Rolex make you feel? Customer service, right? I know that they have good customer service. A lot of people feel very welcomed when they walk into the shop, and that kind of attention that you get, just like when you're buying like a very expensive bag. Actually, these products have a certain brand. These products have branding, right? And these are the things that they have done to brand themselves in the space. So personal branding is actually the same. The only difference is that the product is now you. So what are people going to say about you? What are people going to feel about you when they hear your name? Or what are they going to share about you when they talk with other people? So that is your personal brand. Now, personal brand can be many things. It can be your values, your work ethics, what you stand for, what you intend to do. Are you someone who always try new things, always go into uncharted fields, try to roll out new programs, always challenge yourself to improve new programs, especially in the space of training and in the space of digital? I find myself every single year rolling out new programs, sometimes quarter by quarter as well, as different schools reach out to have a new program requirement. Right? How you express yourself visually or through videos, through live formats, through networking events, being a panelist, being a conference speaker, right? These are different things about yourself, even in your personal life. I think many people who might be, say, very sporty, or they like certain sports like golfing or maybe even dragon boating, cycling. These are things that talk about who you are, and that's your personal brand. So if you think of Elon Musk, many of you might be familiar with this man here, Elon Musk. I always ask people to think about what are 2 words you would choose to describe him, all right? And a lot of times this word comes up, and that's like eccentric, he's unpredictable. And if I have a choice to pick a picture online to describe Elon Musk, my choice of picture would be this, right? He's always giving faces and always doing unpredictable things and decisions, and he just have a certain way of doing things that a lot of people cannot comprehend, but some people actually respect it. Maybe especially people who are investing money with him or investing in his company. How about Steve Jobs? I personally like Steve Jobs a lot, and I always try to pose like him, his famous pose. Of course, I don't really get the pose right, but I do try. I do try all the time. What are 2 words you would use to describe Steve Jobs? That is Steve Jobs' personal brand. So think about it. Steve Jobs, innovator, he's perfectionist. He just doesn't want something that is mediocre. He wants his team to find the perfect way to give an almost perfect product to the users, and he likes to innovate. And with personal branding, there's similarly a framework that we look at. If you're familiar with digital marketing, you might be familiar with this term called digital marketing trifecta, meaning that if any of these things are not in place, it is not complete. So what we need in digital marketing is not only owning certain digital assets, for example, your website, your blogs, an email database, or your social media pages, you also need a paid advertising budget. And the third thing that you need is, what are people talking about you online? Are they mentioning you on social media? Are they reviewing you? Are they leaving you a review on Facebook or Google reviews? Right? So for personal brand, there are 3 things that we look at as well. You need to choose a platform, minimally 1 platform. You need to understand what is your plan and your strategy for your content. So if you do not have these 3 things, this is what the 2-day workshop is going to help you to figure out and craft out the actual digital assets for your social media pages, especially with your videos, your digital elevator pitch in the form of a video. There are 5 pillars you can think about for a strong branding, a strong digital brand. The first is your purpose. Why do you do what you do? This is actually in reference to Simon Sinek's very famous golden circle. I will be sharing more during the 2 days workshop. But the second thing you need to think about is to define your core values. What is important to you in the way that you live, you work? What is important to you as an individual, as a working professional? The third point is about brand clarity and authenticity. So how do you show up online? Do you just talk about everything perfect, or do you talk about maybe things that are not so perfect in the industry, or maybe some things that you are asking, some milestones, or some maybe acknowledging certain challenges that you have faced? Number 4, what are your strengths? Consider using Strengths Finder or asking your friends and colleagues about you, what your strengths are, and work on your strengths. Because your pillar, most of the time, if you rely on your strength, you feel a little bit more confident as well as you show up online. The 5th point is being visible. So when we talk about something, or when we want to be in a certain industry vertical, we are all at different industry verticals, and we need to show up on the correct platform to communicate this message so that people understand what we are talking about. So think about the legacies that you like to build, not only in your life but also in your career. So these are 5 pillars that you need to consider when we are talking about a digital brand. You might think that, hey Charmaine, so much work. What are some of the benefits of personal branding? Now, the first benefit is that you attract opportunities to you. People actually are drawn to you. They follow you on social media. They reach out. They prefer to work with you. Number 2, they actually remember you. If I create contents that help you consistently, month over month, year over year, you will remember me as well. Benefit number 3, they prefer to work with you. So if there are 3 to 5 trainers doing the same thing, working professionals doing the same thing, a company would prefer to hire you as a working professional or as an educator because of your personal brand. Now, you might be thinking, what else is there? Actually, what personal branding does is that it moves your customers buying from you to buy into you, to buy your belief, to desire to work with you, and they actually find your differentiator and they are able to identify it, meaning that you have 20 customers will say the same thing about you, and that is something that personal branding can do for you if you would like to differentiate yourself online. So if you're wondering, why is some people succeeding online and I'm not? That is because under the iceberg, what you're not seeing is the things that they do under the iceberg, and that is really important. So if you want to figure out what is it that you need to do, what is it the content strategy like, how you can commit time, what kind of knowledge and expertise you can share, this 2 days workshop is for you to figure out how you can craft out a plan for your personal brand and also to kind of unleash your own creativity for your personal and digital brand. I have a video to share with you and I will just play the first few seconds of the video. If you'd like to watch the full video, feel free to scan this QR code to watch the video.
Whether you realize it or not, you have a personal brand. If I looked you up on Google and didn't find anything about you on the first page of results, that's your personal brand. If I found an out-of-date LinkedIn profile or a bunch of random social media posts, that too is your personal brand.
All right, so that is a short video just to share with you a little bit about personal branding. We all have it. Some people think that if I don't show up online, I don't have a personal brand, I should not stir trouble. But actually, if you don't show up online, that is your personal brand. So do something about it. There was a recent article in December 2022. Fortune actually talked about Cisco training their employees, 84,000 of them, to be influencers on LinkedIn. And that is the brand that Cisco would like to be. They would prefer to empower their employees to talk about their business and their brand rather than they talking about it themselves, right? So this is how it has changed. The landscape has really changed, and it is not about what you say about yourself, it is about what other people say about you. So how you can get started, I actually have 2 video resources for you. The first video resource is actually to look at your profile. And in your profile, what you need to improve on is your banner, followed by your headshot. The second thing you need to do is to improve on your headline, and this headline matters a lot. Number 3, you need to update your experience as well. So if you'd like to find out more about how you can optimize these few things, scan the QR code. I have a detailed video for you. And the fourth thing to do is to add your skills in each of this designation or roles that you have with the company. So if you'd like to find out more about how you can do this, this is the QR code to scan to watch the full video that I have already uploaded on our YouTube channel. Basically, I have 2 video resources for you. The first one was 5 ways to level up on LinkedIn, which is the previous slide that I've just talked about. There's not only 4 things but 5 things to work on. And the other video that I think will be quite helpful is how does hashtags work on LinkedIn. It's a little bit different from Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. So watch this other video as well as you create content on LinkedIn, as you show up on LinkedIn. Use hashtags strategically. Right, so there is a saying, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett said this. And you might ask, when is the best time to plant a tree? The answer is 10 years ago. And if you're asking, when is the next best time to plant a tree? And that is today. Right, so if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. And this is by Abraham Lincoln. So before you get started, learn about this platform so that you have more success with the platform that you are going on to build your personal brand. So remember, whether or not you show up online, that is your personal brand. If you show up, you're online as well. That is your personal brand. But if you show up meaningfully, that is when you differentiate yourself from the others. So share with me in the comments what is your favorite takeaway today. If you are interested to register for this 2 days workshop, we have a few runs that have been planned, and you can scan this QR code to sign up for your interest. We will be getting in touch with you depending on the course runs that you have selected. We currently only have a few runs scheduled, so you can let us know which month is preferred for you, and we will be reaching out to you as well. So I have recently received the badge, the top social media marketing voice. If you are on LinkedIn, I would love to get connected with you. This is my LinkedIn QR code, and I definitely look forward to seeing you at my workshop at IL.